we should be going live. Yes, we are live, indeed.
Oh man.
Alright, let me turn you up so people will be able to hear you.
Yeah, I'll quickly talk now, just so you can like figure out the gains and stuff. Tell me if this is good volume. If I might be too close to my microphone. Not so sure. Oh, whoops.
Oh no, that's fine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Awesome. Alrighty, so I guess I can ask you the first question in the meantime.
Yeah.
So, when did you start YouTube, Mads?
Okay, so I uploaded my. Are we talking about like professionally or like sort of like consistently, or are we just talking about in general?
In general, yeah.
Okay. I uploaded my first video in 2012, and it was this really stupid, sort of short film which I did with my friend using just like I was 12 at the time. Oh no, actually, I think I made a video with him when I was 10, and then I really wanted to do YouTube. I didn't know what to upload. I just checked this like old video which me and him made. I was like, okay, this is going to explode. And I did, it got like 10 views. I was like, yes. I got like really excited. But I guess that was like really early on. I mean, I didn't upload for like another couple months or so. I've always had the same channel. I just haven't ever changed. If you see when my channel was made, it was made in like August of 2012. And the main reason it like I had an account before then, but I deleted it because I commented on someone's video, and like someone replied something really mean, and I got so scared I didn't know what to do, so I deleted my channel and made a new one just because someone like replied to me like saying like, "Oh my god, you're so lame" or something like what I said. It's like, oh my god, I can't go on like this. I made a new channel just for that. So stupid.
That's not even that bad. I thought you were gonna say like they like I don't know doxed you. Or they said they want.
Oh no! It was literally so stupid. I think it was like I gave, I think it was something about a game or like it was something about a video game, and I said like, oh, what about this idea? For I think it was like for like Mario Galaxy or something. I was like, oh, what about if they did this? And so I was like, what a stupid idea. Why did they add that? And I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad. And then I made a new account just for that. I feel so dumb. Oh, it's so stupid.
I've never heard someone go that low to delete a
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't know what was. Of course, looking back at it, I feel ridiculous. I think it's so stupid. But by the time, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be in tears if someone called me lame. So why'd you start YouTube? What got you into YouTube?
Well, I've also always like, I'm really interested in multimedia genres in terms of like, I feel like having the flexibility of doing everything yourself is really cool. And the fact that I'm like my own director, my own editor, my own artist, like all of that is me. And of course I get like critique and constructive criticism from others, and then I might collaborate or ask for help. But it's all under my control, and I'm not like designated to do a certain specific thing. Like if I wanted to, I could do literally whatever I wanted to, and I think that's like so appealing. The fact that you can like almost make a living out of that rather than just doing it as a hobby is even cooler. Even though like currently I'm just doing it as a hobby, or an intense one at that, because I work as like often as I can on my channel. But what got me in was basically like seeing the opportunity to not be restricted by like, oh, I'm gonna be an editor and the only thing I'm gonna do is edit, or I'm gonna be a director and I'm only gonna tell people what to do and never do anything myself. It's like, you know, I never want to tie myself down to one thing, because I love the idea of exploring different things. I think it because it's so immediate and doesn't require to, you know, like go through different things. It's a really cool way to create content.
Right, so, is the only channel you've had before this one the one that you terminated?
Yes, I think so. I did have one with my sister where we uploaded a single video of our dog rolling over, and that was literally it. There was nothing else.
I see. Is that?
So I don't have much of a track record. I do have a previous past of making videos, in terms of like I didn't start off with animations. I've unlisted and privated all these videos, but I used to do when I was like 12 to 14, I was doing like games and different things, and then I got really bored of that. I just say that occasionally, like any probably as like most like 13-year-olds do, like make YouTube videos like maybe once a month. It's like trying to be all cool and be like, oh yeah, look how cool I am editing these videos and stuff. And I thought it was I thought it was so good. Looking back at them, they're so terrible. And yeah, so I did like play Garry's Mod with my friends and did like funny edits and all of that stuff. Kind of similar to Vanos. And those are quite funny, but like of course it was really poorly edited, and it is probably only funny to me because I know the people. And then from that I kind of got a bit. I think I got like 500 subs or so. I was around there. Then I started doing commentary videos. Kind of in a similar way of like Pyrocynical, and those are those are okay. They're pretty awful. Like I don't like looking at them at all, like whatsoever. However, then after a while, once that was around when I was like 15, like 16ish. Now I'm almost 18. But around when I was 16, I was kind of like, this is so boring. I like, is there even a point? Like I don't know what I'm doing. This isn't original. It's just like recycling ideas. And then after watching like James's stuff, Domix, Egoraptor, like all these are like having the freedom of being able to appeal with like visuals rather than just like your personality, I think is really cool, because it means you can like emphasize stuff. And the fact that it's like I'm growing one skill, like almost like killing two birds with one stone, where I'm getting an art skill at the same time as making videos and at the same time as like writing scripts and stuff. I thought it was really cool. Like if you look at my my Pink Guy music video, which I made a year ago, if you compare that to like my latest video, you can see like so much improvement. I'm pretty sure that goes for anyone in terms of like a year, but like for me, doing these animated videos is so much more fun than like anything else I've done. I really enjoy it.
Well, I guess it's hard to have like complete originality.
Oh yeah, of course. But I almost feel like it's. Of course, everyone's like being called like a James clone and that sort of stuff. But I feel like with this community, it's almost at a point where it's you shouldn't really call someone a clone unless they're literally tracing what the other person's doing. Because sure, there's similar formats, but if you look at something like games or again commentary or basically any other format on YouTube, it's all just copy paste of each other. There's almost no originality in terms of like genres of types of videos. However, when new genres come out, it's through basically, I feel like it's through mixing them together, if that makes sense. Like, of course, like this community has come out because it's like gained traction because it's like, oh, it's animations plus stories, so it's like gets the whole community of like people interested in like story time videos and animation together. And of course, this gives you room for like comedy and all those different things. So it's created its own genre, and I think that's like such a cool idea. And the fact that like I don't know, I'm kind of rambling here. Sorry. Well, I've completely forgot what the question was in the first place. I'm so sorry.
Well, the original question was, have you had any channels before this one?
Oh my god, what am I talking about? Jeez. All right, I'm gonna stop. How do we segue this? Oh my god.
I don't know, but I did want to make a comment. I mean, like, yeah, some people literally think, oh, you make animations, you copy the odd ones out. Oh, you make commentaries, you copy Pyrocynical. Yeah.
That's good.
Or Leafy is here when he was still.
Yeah. Pyro's a Leafy clan.
Yeah. So the next question is, when you start drawing, Mads?
Oh, drawing. 5, but I didn't. When I started drawing, like, of course, I just did like pretty much like any 5-year-old. I was slightly better than like most, I'd say, for my age. Like I drew a lot, like super often. However, I always did. I kind of stopped doing it when I was around, I'd say 10 or 11, because I got a Wii and a and a DS, and that was kind of like replaced the whole fun of drawing. Of course, I still did it here and there. But when I was, I'd like to say 14 or 13, when I started getting into like graphic design and Photoshop and that sort of stuff. I started doing like online commissions for like YouTube icons, banners, and just like logos and stuff. And then I learned a lot of skills of like color theory and like graphic design, and that got me like really interested in like another format of art again. And I think that kind of reflects in my art style in terms of I try and have a certain polish. Or like that's why all my lines are like super clean. Like I'm kind of obsessed with making everything precise, which is really annoying because then I obviously come to the issue of like, oh, I'm spending too much time on the visuals and actually getting out content. So I've like compensated that by having this secondary art style, which I'm sure you're familiar with, where I have my main character, and then on the other side of like when I'm talking about the actual story, I have like drawn sketchy frames, and that's just a way of saving time as well as not getting myself agitated by like small sort of like issues or mistakes, because that's like the sort of style it's in. But in terms of like when I started drawing again, I'd say kind of when I started doing it a lot more. It was my New Year's resolution for 2017 to do a drawing every day, and I didn't exactly do that, but I definitely improved my art skills just in general, because oh my god, some of my art from 2016 is terrible. Because it was me when I got like a Wacom Small just to like mess around with graphic design, but I was like, oh, actually I'll do digital drawing as well. And it's so awful. Proportions are so ugly. And then doing these videos was a perfect excuse of getting my skills better and at the same time creating content, so I don't have to like choose doing one rather than the other. But yeah, that's my history of art.
Right, and so why did you start drawing? What got you into drawing?
Oh, what got me into drawing in the first place?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard to say. Probably seeing like cartoons, like SpongeBob. It was like a huge thing when I was young. Rugrats. A lot of Nickelodeon stuff. Probably I used to draw a lot of like video game characters as well when I was quite young. So I did like Crash Bandicoot, Mario. It was kind of just like seeing like really cool character designs. I've never really drawn scenery or like objects. I'm always like really interested in like what makes a character appealing, like that whole idea of like silhouettes, how you can tell if a character's what. And that's kind of generic. Well, it's also kind of weird coming from a guy who's literally his character is just some guy with a big head wearing a beanie. But still, like I guess character design is like the biggest thing, which I think is really interesting. And I would say that's like my easily my the most interesting part of like the most interesting part of drawing, in my opinion, is like the whole is doing characters rather than environments. Although environments are.
And how did you go about actually learning how to properly draw?
Oh, tutorials on YouTube, and Draw with Jazza. Got a lot of stuff from him. Another thing is just practice. I didn't really, with my current art style, in terms of actually getting where I am, I think I'm still terrible. I don't think I'm that great, because I'm not very good at reproducing assets. Because I'm so familiar with Photoshop, I'm really good at recycling. So my characters actually probably the same character from like my first video, just adapted slowly over time. Like I used like distortion effects and stuff, and then I lowered the opacity, and then I redrew the lines, and then I tried like refining it over and over again, and that's how I've got my character design. In terms of like actually critiquing on like drawings and stuff, with my friends, Jess, she helped me a lot early on in terms of like how to get better at drawing and all that stuff, and like just speaking to like fellow YouTubers in the similar scene talking about this is like really helpful or really useful.
Right. Pixel Perfect says hi, Champion. Hi, Mads. Hiya.
Oh, hey, dude. What's going on?
And when did you start getting into animation?
Literally, we had a. So I'm not sure if you know the UK system, but it's we don't have a case of like our final 2 years of high school, which you would have in America, are actually called college or sixth form. So you graduate high school 2 years early, and then you choose like they're called A levels, or you can choose to do a diploma, or you do that, and then from that you do that for 2 years, then you go into university. And I I chose to do media production at a certain college, and there was an assignment which was make a music video, and everyone was doing sort of like generic sort of uh ideas of like what our teacher told us to do. However, I'm kind of rebellious in the way of I was like I wasn't like don't tell me what to do. I'm not arrogant. I did listen to his advice and see how he did it, but I didn't want to do the same as everyone else. I wanted to try and stand out. So I was like, hang on a second, why don't I do an animation? And then I was thinking, okay, what song could be quite funny to do that? And then Filthy Frank's album got released. I was like, okay, I'm sorted. I'll do this. And then that's what I made, and that did really, really well in terms of feedback. I was like, this is awesome. This is so fun. And then from that, I kind of took a tiny bit of a break just because I was so inefficient at making that video because it was all done in Premiere. It was all just like redrawn Photoshop files and then just redistributed in like segments in that video. Whilst now I use like multiple programs in order to like speed up my process. So that was just so tiring for that. So then I kind of just like stopped doing it for a while. Started making meme videos. So that's why I have that iDub shooting stars meme on my channel. I'm gonna remove that at some stage. I'm just waiting for like one of my actual real videos, which I like one of my original videos, to overtake it in views. I'm like, okay, I've beaten that like demon. It's time to take it down. But yeah, in terms of like doing animation and starting it, it was literally just around a year ago. Like I didn't really had any experience in doing animation prior.
Okay, so you only started because you wanted to make these videos?
No, not exactly. I started to make that animation for my college project originally. But I got loads of really good feedback from it, from like my because at this point, as I said, I was doing like commentary videos, and my channel's pretty much dead. It was I was getting like maybe 120 views every time I uploaded, and I uploaded like once or possibly twice a month. And they were pretty. It was just dumbed down, really shitty content. Oh, sorry. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you're allowed to swear.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I was oh crap. My bit of a goof. But yeah, it was a case of doing that and then getting so much good feedback, because after getting 120 views and stuff, then all of a sudden I got like 11,000 on that, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. I was getting comments from like different people, random stuff, like a bunch of random people who I'd never seen before, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. This is actually reaching like a different audience. And then I thought that was really, really awesome. Of course, I was like kind of tired out of doing that, and a lot of other pieces of college work was really intense around that time. So then I just did like those memes just to like get in like afternoons of like random weekends, just like, okay, I'm bored, I'm gonna make a meme. And then those blew up. I was like, oh, okay, this is weird but cool. And then after a while, I did a few more commentary videos after that, maybe like one or two. I did one I did after the iDubbbz video blew up. A video I made was me thanking people for 100,000, and it's like, oh, thank you guys so much for 100,000. 100,000 is insane. 100,000 views, and it like played sad music because like the whole idea was that I was talking about subscribers, and I was like, oh wait, it's views. And then I thought it was quite funny, and I did that and one other video. However, those of course didn't go well with the new traction of like the pink guy video and those meme videos, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to make this content because this is kind of boring. I'd way prefer making those memes or making those animations. And I made a few more memes of it. It got really stale kind of really quickly. I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, I can definitely not do just memes and that's it. That's just too shallow. It doesn't have enough depth for me to like really involve myself in making videos. So then I went back to doing animations again. I was like, hang on a second. Don't people do like stories and stuff? And then I remembered like Jaden, I remember James, because I used to watch them here and there. But I didn't really watch their videos. Like I wasn't huge fans. I just admired their content, and I was subscribed since like midsummer of like 2016. And then I thought, oh, okay, these guys, like when they started like seriously blowing up. Like I think I subbed to James when he had like 300,000 or something. And that was pretty cool. So I saw those guys, and I was like, oh, there's not even that many people doing this. This could actually be like a really good way of getting myself out there, progressing my skills, learning to write more. Just it seemed like such a beneficial way of making videos. And a lot of my friends were like, yeah, definitely do that. That'd be such a good idea. So I did. And then I found out about all these Discord servers, like which has literally every single person of the community. I was like, oh my god, there's a lot of people who do this. And then at first I was kind of intimidated. I was like, oh my god, am I like late to a party? Like, is no one gonna be like, oh my god, this another guy? Jeez. But actually, everyone who I met through it were really cool. Danny Doodles is one guy who I would say was really nice to me early on. I only made like my first video, and I saw his, and I was like, oh my god, dude, yours is insane. How do you animate like that? And he told me a few of his ways. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. And really gave me like a lot of confidence in terms of like areas to improve and stuff. Same with Small PNG, or Poya PNG, as her name is now. She helped me out a lot early on, and it's just like joining like the Discord community and seeing all those people at first was like really intimidating, but then eventually I was like, oh my god, like this is so cool for room to improve and like to speak and engage and collaborate. Sorry, again, I keep going off on these tangents. Sorry, hopefully it's like still relevant.
Yeah, you're fine, no worries.
Okay.
Now, and how did you learn to animate?
Oh, yeah, tutorials here and there. It's mainly, I switched to Flash for like a brief period, but I hated it like so much. It was just so tedious, and the actual video from it looks so ugly, which I did in Flash compared to like my recent ones, because my recent ones I use a new technique. I use a program called Character Animator, which is it's like live animation. So it's like a live lip sync. When I blink, my character can blink. That's why my head turns like really weird, because it's tracking my face, and it's really cool. And I was like, oh, this is such a cool like innovative program. Like as I was saying earlier, why I didn't want to do that music video like traditionally. I was like, okay, well I kind of want to just innovate or try something different. I don't want to stick to the norms. I don't want to reproduce what everyone else is doing. I'd rather try something new. When I saw this program, I was like, oh my god, people don't know many people use it. And then I looked into it, and I was like, okay, it definitely seems kind of tacky. And then I looked more into it. I was like, okay, actually, this has a lot of powerful tools if in the right hands. And at first, I saw I just watched one of my earlier videos using Character Animator, and I was like, oh my god, this looks terrible. What was I doing? But now, like my latest video, I'm like really proud in terms of how the characters like motion is and like how the structure is. So it's all with how I learned it. It was just through tutorials on YouTube and then practice. I tried to make as many videos as I could. I was doing one a month for a while. Now I'm trying to do one every 2 weeks, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, but yeah.
And have you heard of the new monetization rules on YouTube?
Oh, with the having to have like 4,000 hours? Is that?
So,
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think
do you
about
want
that?
What do I think about that? Well, it doesn't affect me. So I'm not too worried on my end. However, I feel like if you're doing, if someone's angry about that and it's getting under, if it's affecting anything else more than you making money, I understand. Like I can see why you're angry with that. Like if it's, affecting how the person is if it's affecting like, oh, you can't add thumbnails anymore, or oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. If it's removing features, then I disagree with it. But if it's just removing the ability to monetize, and then that money's getting put into somewhere else, such as like other creators or people who are doing it more consistently. Rather, because you have to bear in mind, although there's a lot of people who are kind of small and working really hard, there's a lot of people who are small and not working hard at all who are still getting paid, and their channels are literally idle. So you have to bear that in mind. Like I don't know the percentage, but it could be like 50-50. So all of that money is going more into the thing, and more into like the back into the pit for like other people too who are working really, like working their hardest to do it. And I feel like if you're doing YouTube just for money, that's terrible. You shouldn't do it. If you want to make money, learn like stocks and shares and stuff. Like actually see how to become a millionaire and that sort of stuff. Like don't do it for money or like to be rich and famous. Do it because like you wanna. I mean, everyone has their own intentions, but do it because you love doing it and you think that it's like it sounds like the coolest thing to do. Like, or like of course having it as a dream to do like YouTube as a job and be like, oh, it seems like such a cool idea. Oh, I'd love to go traveling and do all these things because it seems like such a cool lifestyle to have. I think that's fine to have that opinion. But I feel like if you're doing like, oh yeah, I want to do YouTube so I can make loads of money, so I can have a nice house, I think that's so, like, no one should be thinking like that. And I feel like anyone who's angry about the rule because they have that intention, is very bad for doing so. But I feel like overall it's not too bad of a change. It could be a lot worse because you used to not even be able to have it like this. You had to apply for it. And go through this really tedious procedure, like back in the day. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I would say it's not the end of the world, and it could be a lot more. It could be a lot worse. Like the fact that you can monetize on this in the first place is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's unrealistic to like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be rich and famous off of YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now I guess this whole thing ties into the question that I was going to ask you. It's how do you think YouTube treats their animators? What's your opinion on how they treat them?
Ooh, I think it's terrible that with the whole demonetization thing with the like the yellow symbol. I think that's awful. That even if like the amount of work that people put into them and the amount of money it will cost for people to produce, and time and effort. The fact that it can easily be striked in like almost instantly and can't be put back up with that sort of like monetization rule is terrible. I hate that idea of it. However, I feel like recently the fact that they put them in like YouTube Rewind and they're, of course that's a very small thing, but the fact that they're kind of acknowledging them a lot more and they put James on trending, they put Jaden on trending recently, and the fact that they're obviously aware of the community. And I feel like other YouTube communities aren't fully aware of it yet, if that makes sense, because I don't really see any YouTubers who I watch who are talking about like different types of YouTubers. I've never heard them mention animation channels. In terms of like storytime animation channels, I've heard them talk about like, oh yeah, Egoraptor and sort of like the old guys who spend months and months working on stuff. But I feel like for the in between sort of guys like sort of like myself, like 8-Bit Ultra, Speechy, that everyone who sort of does these sort of storytime videos, I feel like they're treating us pretty well. Of course there's room for improvement. There's room for improvement anywhere. I feel like it's stupid that so many people kind of try and think that the only way for them to grow is to collaborate. Like like everyone's like, oh, I really want to collab with the odds ones out, so I can, because Tim's one blew up from it. Oh, and I want to blow up like Tim's one. That's another thing which I kind of am a bit distasteful of. Of course, like including James in the video is completely fine, but I feel like you do it because you think his personality would fit it rather than using him. And I feel like that's one thing which like YouTube is kind of skewed with our sort of how they treat like animators now, because Tim did a video with James and he blew up from it. Everyone's gonna do it, and of course like that does happen. No doubt about it. Every time I see someone who collabs with James, they pretty much start exploding. But like that's besides the point. What I'm trying to get at is that I feel like a lot of people might think that's the only way to grow, because of like the algorithm and how it works from YouTube. And I think that's a tiny bit of a gripe which I have, is that some people might be like, you know, becoming sort of like I like get to a point where they use people in order to like benefit themselves. And I feel like they're like, oh, it's the only way to do it. Rather than like produce something which they think is like genuinely funny and like is really enjoyable. That makes sense.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like in terms of, I feel like I feel like they treat them completely fine, but I think that one thing which they do wrong is that they promote the idea of using people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not dissing anyone or trying to make fun of anyone who has collaborated with James, because like that's completely fine. Like most videos which I've seen him in, he fits well and his personality fits completely well. But I feel like if someone's like, all right, my channel's not doing very well, I want to collaborate with James so I can, you know, be like everyone else, so I can have a following. I feel like that's a bit silly. I feel like there should be. I feel like the algorithm should be in a way where people don't put other people's names in the tags just so they're like, oh, the other one's out, Jane Animations, Tim Tom, something else YT, put all of those in their tags just so they can get like viewed. I feel like that's kind of terrible, and it's a bad habit for some people to do. Because I've seen a couple like small channels who are doing it, and of course they think it's like the only way to grow. And I'm not angry at them for doing it. I'm angry at that it's a system which is promoted by YouTube and works with the YouTube. If that makes sense. Like I feel like bad habits are being created due to the algorithm and how it works. And I feel like they should sort of like knuckle down on how the system works so they can make sure, okay, this person is in this video and this isn't a misleading tag.
Right. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hey Mason, what's up?
Yo.
So I saw that because I was watching your earlier videos to get some of the questions written down for the interview. And I was curious as to why you decided to stop swearing in your videos.
Oh, okay, that's a good point. Just because someone commented saying, like, I think someone followed me or something who seemed really young, and I was like, oh my god, if I was this young and I was playing a video and it was some British guy swearing and screaming, my mum would not be too happy. And I was like, okay, I feel like I'm limiting my vocabulary as well. It's like, okay, I'm swearing a lot, and it's kind of like limiting me in terms of how funny I can be, if that makes sense. Like I'm limited in terms of I can't be creative in terms of how I, like, you know, insult myself or use certain words. So like, you know, instead of saying like something like the F word or something, I might like instead of saying like, oh, you twat or something like that, I might go, oh, you buffoon, or, you know, like come up with like some sort of funny alternative which people could turn into like a joke of themselves and become like an inside joke on the channel. So it's just a way of forcing me to be more creative in terms of my language, as well as, of course, making it so because the whole demonetization issue, and just trying to have it so everyone is available to watch my stuff and isn't restricted, and they're not like, oh, he swears, I don't want to watch him. I feel like that would be a shame for me not to get feedback from different types of people, and try and improve my work to make more people laugh, because that's sort of like my main goal with it, is just to sort of bring happiness and like try and make people like smile, and like if they have a bad day, have a good day. And I feel like if I'm not swearing, instead of if I'm just trying to just be goofy or try and use other words instead, it appeals to a more like, you know, larger group of people.
Right. Is this better, Mason? I turned myself up. Because you said I'm a bit quiet. So then, how come you like originally swore in your videos?
Oh, that's because when I did commentary and stuff, I was swearing all the time, and with the people who I was talking to, they were swearing all the time. And the fact that I was kind of used to having like a small, tiny niche channel with just like a few like maybe like 8 comments or so a video, and it's also like the same people. They also get my humor and that sort of thing. However, as I changed this content and I grew in terms of like popularity and amount of people watching me, it came to a point where I was like, okay, maybe this isn't such like a good idea for like newcomers, as well as like if you're trying to share a video to someone, I'm like, oh yeah, watch this video. I'm putting myself in that person's position, and if it were like heard them swearing, and like someone was walking by, like, oh, what are they watching? You know, I'm trying to have it so it showcases that I have like good intentions and that I'm not sort of just like, you know, a rebel, like an entirely angry rebel man. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just a case of that.
Right. Can you guys still hear Mads fine? Because I turned them down a bit in OBS. So
dude, I think I'll only be able to do this for maybe like 10 minutes or so more. If that's good with you.
Yeah, that should be fine. I think I should be able to finish the questions by then.
Okay, cool.
All right.
If I don't keep going on
on tangents, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. How come you didn't add color in your, I think, like, first video or first 2 videos?
Oh yeah, my first video didn't have color because I was lazy. I was like, okay, I just want to try and get this one out as fast as I can. It's just like it didn't cross my mind to add color. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna scribble this down, do this, and I made it in literally like 2 nights. My first video, my Ing in school one, that was on like 2 nights. So that's the reason why. It was just I wanted to get some content out there, and just try and like, rather than procrastinating and trying to make it the most perfect video ever, I just wanted to blurt it out there and try to get out there as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah, he is. Oh, okay, great. Good to hear that you can hear him fine.
Awesome.
Okay, so why does your character have a beanie? Do you wear beanies frequently in real life?
Yeah, I wore a beanie all the time. I wore a beanie today. I have a bit of a collection of hats. I have like, I'm looking now. I have like 6 or 7 caps, like 3 or 4 beanies, loads of headbands. I don't know, I just think like headwear is pretty cool. And when I was designing my character, I was like, what about if I, you know, make it represent myself a bit more? What about a beanie? Of course, when I first drew it, it looked terrible. It looked like a bit like a scrotum, like it looked disgusting. But now it looks a lot better. Actually, it looks like a hat.
All right. Yeah, I like headwear as well. I have a fedora and I have a
classic.
A golf cap. Yeah. So
awesome.
Yeah, in another video you talked about a teacher of yours. I think he was a naughty boy, if I remember correctly.
Oh yes, is this my creepy middle school?
Yeah, he's probably a pedo.
Yes. That's what we believe.
Okay, so did he get in trouble, or was he like did he get out scot-free?
See, so from that point where he went red, I didn't see. He left the school. He didn't actually. Oh wait, which one are we talking about? Because there's 2 teachers in that. There's one which was actually naughty by doing stuff.
I think he named him Mr. Game.
Okay, Mr. Game. That's the one who had the lube. The other one was the one who actually, because I talked about 2 teachers. One of them was a PE teacher who literally, he was like convicted as like an actual pedophile.
Ah dear.
Meanwhile, the other guy, we just found lube in his desk. Someone took it home on a bus. I was gonna mention that in the video. Someone took it home on a bus, brought it back the next day, and we're still just like messing around with it. Oh my god, there's so many. There's like a trilogy of like awful things which happened at that middle school. Oh my god, I should probably do the 3rd one. Actually, thinking about it, looking back on that video, I'm like, that's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. But at the same time, it's so like off the wall and sort of like not PC at all. Very sort of very sort of explicit.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of what happened to him, I can't really remember. But yeah, I don't think he doesn't work there anymore. That's 100% sure.
Good. All right, I've got 4 more questions for you here.
Cool.
So, you made a video on friends of friends.
Yes.
And I've met a friend of mine in that sort of situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many times have you been in that situation? I've been in them a
countless.
few.
Too many times. Too many times. It happens a lot with it's not just friends. It's also with family, with parents, just with every situation. Whenever you're trying to do something, and all of a sudden, like, oh, your mom, your mom might see someone they notice, and then stop doing what they're doing whilst they're walking with you, like like once I did shopping with my mom, and we might be walking somewhere, and then all of a sudden they see someone they know, and you're like, should you continue walking? Should you slowly walk back? Should you wait? Should you continue doing what you're doing? And it's so annoying. I've done it so many times, and I hate it, especially at school. Oh, it happens so often. So annoying.
Yeah, it's happened to me a few times as well. It's a bit awkward. I just stand there quietly.
Yeah. The main reason I made that video was to figure out how to not do that, like how to like find an actual someone's opinion in the comments to try and figure out what I can do to prevent it. That was like my main intention. I was like, I need to figure out how I can stop this situation. Let's do a video on it.
I see. Why did you decide to face reveal at 5K?
Because I already had my face on Instagram all the time. Like because I used to do commentary videos, so I had my face pretty public, and a few of my subs already knew it. And I just thought it'd be a cool way to start the year, rather than doing one like sort of like midway through the year, because I'm gonna be going to VidCon. So I want people to be like see my face prior to like just announcing it, like, oh hey, I'm gonna be at VidCon. Here's my face. Yeah, and again, it also means that I can be sort of like more public on like Twitter and Instagram. Like my face has already been around. It's just that's my first face reveal like officially on my channel. As of now, it's like the only video which has my face in it.
Right. And you made a video on online friends.
Oh yes, that one is the latest one, or the Internet Friends Are Awesome video.
Yeah, internet friends are awesome. That one. So,
Okay.
do you prefer online friends over in real life friends, or not really?
I would say yes, actually, because internet friends oh sorry, someone's just calling me on Discord, and I'm gonna go and do not disturb.
Okay.
No, sorry. Online friends is just you get to pick and choose. Yeah, at like high school or middle school, you're kind of like forced into situations. And of course, it's got its downsides in terms of you might not diverse yourself with enough people to get different opinions from different people. But I think that depends on the person. I think if you're closed-minded and you only hang around with certain people and only speak to certain people in high school or just in school in general, you get the same effect of just picking specific people who agree with you 100% online. Was the same thing. So I feel that like online friends and real life friends, it's kind of like I think it's just a case of it's easier to meet people who have like similar sort of interests as you. At the same time, you're also meeting different types of people, and not everyone's the same. Of course, it depends on the person, because for me, I prefer internet, but that's just because I'm genuinely closer with a lot of them, and a lot of them who I've met IRL, I'm a lot closer with, and like they're some of like the best like times I've had, just in general in life. Like I've had some really really funny, like fun moments in general, whilst other people might abuse the system of the internet to only hang around with specific people who have their exact same interests, such as I'm not trying to attack anyone, but like social justice warriors is a good example, because this is my opinion. This opinion is correct. You, who else agrees with me? You, come along, get in our circle. And then they have this sort of like, you know, this cult almost of people. I think that's really easy to do online. If with the power of like being able to meet anyone. But I feel like if it's not abused in that way, internet friends and just meeting people online is just as, if not like more awesome than like normal interactions and stuff.
I don't have online friends currently. I used to have a bunch though, and they were great, but then we just stopped talking.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So last question I've got for you here, Mads, and then we can conclude it. So
Cool.
what are your plans and goals for this year?
For this year, I wanted to get 50 videos out this year. Not just animations, just in general 50. But instead, I'm actually reworking that in terms of I want to be able to, if you go onto my page, there will be 50 videos rather than, I'm going to make 50 videos. Like I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I have 17 videos or 18 videos right now. So it'd be, if I already have 18, all I have to do is 38, whatever. So I have to do 38 videos between now and the end of the year. Like something like that. I don't really want to have a goal of subs or views or anything like that, because I feel like that it puts me up for like to become demotivated, and I don't want to like make myself like too. I don't want to like go too far, go too low. So I feel like making content is gonna be my goal for this year rather than trying to reach a certain point, because I feel like that's the most important thing.
Right. All right then. Well, that concludes it. Thank you so much for coming on, Mads.
No worries, dude. This has actually been really fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself as well. And that concludes it, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you next one. Take care and goodbye.